Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got a commander for you that is making waves here, there, and everywhere. My goodness, this is a dominant commander. I'm of course talking about none other than Nadu Winged Wisdom. Now, I was shocked to see the price of Nadu because a little while ago, it wasn't all that expensive. It was like a $3 or $4 card, and all of a sudden now it's like $13. That being said, yeah, you got it. You know it. On today's episode, I've got a budget version of this commander for you. Just $28.44 in total, according to Moxfield, not including shipping or basic lands, but you might already have those basics. Regardless, still the rest of the deck incredibly budget friendly, or you might already have Nadu, great, or just proxy it or whatever you want to do. Anyways, Nadu is a 3/4 bird wizard with flying for 3 mana in Simic. Creatures you control have whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, keyword right there, really top card of your library. If it's a land card, put on the battlefield, doesn't say tapped. Otherwise, put it in your hand. This ability triggers only twice each turn per creature. This is per creature that you have. So, yeah, if you got 5 creatures in play, potentially 10, total card advantage / ramp, depending on what you're hitting off the top. Absolutely absurd. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, if you're limited to spells, like, you're going to run out of mana. You're going to run out of spells. Yeah, but there's also these things called abilities, which can target very easily. We'll talk about plenty of great ones. And some cards, yes, did spike in price to the point where they're more than the total cost of this deck that are quite popular with Nadu. That being said, plenty of amazing ones and amazing synergies that we can work with where we can make an overpowered, absolutely dominant budget deck around this one. So we're going to be getting a lot of creatures out. We're going to be getting some equipment out. We're going to be getting some other abilities out that can target quite easily, quite efficiently, quite effectively to get that trigger again and again and again and again, and more than that, actually, in a single turn, of course. So on this episode, I'm going to, of course, be taking you through the tactics. If you are interested in this deck, make sure you check out that deck list link in the description below. With all that said, let's jump into it. And we're going to be starting things off with tactic number 1 with the golden pig of this deck, none other than Gigantomancer. That's right, in my opinion, the number 1 card out of our 99, a 1/1 human shaman for 8 mana in total. Now, normally you'd be like, a 1/1 for 8. Wow, that's terrible. But it has this amazing ability. Pay a single mana. Target creature you control becomes a 7/7 until end of turn. Now, what this does is, well, it gives us an ability that can make things massive. I mean, just putting this on our commander, essentially be like, I target my commander. My commander's a 7/7. Turns it, of course, into a 3-shot. Again, evasive with flying. KO, which is fantastic. And we can make that happen even quicker as well. That being said, again, it is an ability that does target, meaning that essentially you're paying 1 mana to look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, cool, put it into play. Again, untapped, so you can just utilize that land right away. Or, hey, put it in your hand. So it's like 1 mana, draw, or ramp. Repeatable. Again, every single creature we have in play, let's say we have 5 creatures in play, we're in Simic. We've got ways to ramp. Of course, our commander just ramps us naturally, too. You got 10 mana lying around, right? Just activate that. All of a sudden, just do it again. All your creatures are massive. And, of course, again, a repeatable ability that is so cheap, so efficient, so effective. It is absolutely amazing for this kind of a commander that, again, cares about repeat abilities that can target. So, Gigantomancer, for many reasons, you are the golden pig. Moving on to tactic number 2, though, target whenever, just whenever you want. Again, having these repeatable abilities that can target whenever we want, as long as we have the mana for them, can be fantastic. Elvish Herder, a very janky old card. So old that it says Summon Elf on it, again, from Urza's, essentially. It is a 1/1 for a single green mana, and it has a very simple ability. Pay green mana, target creature gains trample until end of turn. This is quite nice, again, because, again, this is a repeatable, just 1 mana ability. Yeah, specific to green, but we're going to have more green mana, most likely, than blue mana. Regardless, utilize it, target your creatures, get your commander's trigger, and, of course, it works well when we need to get commander damage through as well with that flying. Great evasion, but if our opponents have flying blockers, like, I've got a little 1/1 to chump it. It's like, oh, no, get damage through as well. But again, the thing that matters is, hey, you know what? targeting. Again, 1 mana equals triggering the commander. Fantastic. Ursapine, yet another great way to do that. A 3/3 beast for 5 mana in green. Pay a green, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Again, yet another way to pump our commander to oblivion. With the amount of ramp that we have, and we're going to be going through some ramp here in a little bit, this can be absolutely absurd in combination with our commander's ramp too. But again, a repeatable activated ability that can target, again, at instant speed whenever we need to. Save up your mana, utilize it right before your turn, whatever you want to do. You can do a lot of great things with Ursapine. Moving on to tactic number 3, though, hit hard, and hit hard we shall with some fantastic equipment. Now, you might not have known this, but equipment do target. So yeah, if we can equip these things onto our commander or other creatures, then all of a sudden we are targeting them with abilities, and with that, again, triggering our commander. So we've got a lot of ones that are incredibly low to the ground and low to the ground to equip. Adventuring Gear, a single mana, has equip 1. Also has Landfall. Again, whenever a land enters battlefield under control, equip creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So yeah, maybe we can only do this at sorcery speed, but that's okay. We can go crazy on our turn. And also, again, when we're going crazy on our turn, equipping this to here, there, and everywhere, we are getting that trigger. We're getting lands off the top of our library into play. We're getting that landfall trigger a ton, on top of other ways to get it too that we have, of course. But yeah, then we have our commander hit for, I don't know, like, 11 damage, maybe even more than that, essentially. A 2-shot KO, maybe even a 1-shot KO on the right turn. We do some crazy things. We could also maybe even copy that. Yet another great equipment for us is Masterwork of Ingenuity, an equipment for a single mana. We can have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any equipment on the battlefield, which of course includes potentially our opponent's, say, Lightning Greaves, which is way out of our budget, but not outside of our opponent's budget potentially, which can equip for free, so keep that in mind. That being said, of course, yeah, copying another one of our great equipment and attaching it to can be an amazing thing. Black Matter Forge, not the cheapest one to equip, but a great finisher for us for our commander. It is an equipment that costs 2. 3 to equip a legendary creature, +1/+1 for each land we control, which again, can literally turn our commander into a 1-shot KO. It is so easy to get so many lands into play with this commander. It is absurd. Yeah, you can get like 18 lands into play, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I take you out. Okay, goodbye. Moving on. Inquisitor's Flail makes it a lot easier equipped too. So again, not the cheapest compared to some other ones that are at 1. That being said, this says equip creature would deal combat damage. It deals double that damage instead. Also doubles the damage that's dealt to it in combat as well. That being said, yeah, it makes like a different kind of double strike. And yeah, that can make our commander absolutely devastating with the right combination of cards. Sigil of Valor. This is one of those cards. When a creature attacks, it gets +1 until end of turn for each other creature you control, which can be an absurd amount. I mean, the amount of creatures that we can get out with this deck are crazy with the amount of ramp that we have, with the amount of other synergies that we have. Get those out, go so wide, and then just attach this to your commander for 1 mana. I mean, after you attached it to everything else, to get all the ability triggers, then all of a sudden attach to the commander, swing, and swing for a lot. Again, you can easily turn your commander with a combination of cards into a 1-shot KO. Crown of Gondor. Again, equipped creature gets +1 for each creature you control. On top of that, whenever a legendary creature is battlefield under your control, if there is no monarch, you become the monarch, so we can bring the monarch into play, which is great. And also, equip 4, but it's going to cost 3 less to activate if you are the monarch, which, yeah, our commander's evasive. We're going to be able to get through on an opponent. We're going to be able to get that monarch back, and all of a sudden, again, if we need to, second main phase, equip this for 1 on everything we have if we weren't the monarch previously. Scepter of Celebration can help us keep the monarch for quite a long time. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has trample, which is nice to be able to get damage through. On top of that, though, whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens. Go so wide, so fast, and again, give yourself more creatures for more targets for those abilities for more free cards off the top of your library, essentially. Well, not free, but still very, very cheap. Brass Knuckles, a great one as well. When you cast a spell, copy it, so you get an extra copy of it that comes with a token. Equip creature has double strike as long as there are 2 more equipment attached to it. Equip 1. Got a lot of equipment in this deck that are very low to the ground. Of course, you just equip both of these to a single creature if you want to. But again, giving our commander double strike gives us that avenue to victory. Oh yeah, hit your opponent for a ton with this and other things as well. Moving on, tactic number 4, suit up. Yeah, we can actually make things a lot quicker with cards like Ring of Valkis. Quick creature has haste. It also says things about, red creatures. Don't worry about that. Giving haste is great, especially for a deck like this, because we can be aggressive with our commander. Also, it only costs 1 to equip onto anything, and we maybe have some mana dorks we're going to be getting to here in a little bit that make things incredibly efficient, incredibly effective, and can do some crazy things, so giving them haste is quite nice. We also have Cheer to Victory. Equip creature has first strike, trample, and haste. So again, an amazing thing to equip to our commander. Keep in mind, again, with a lot of these equipment, equip 1. So it just costs 1 mana to get that trigger again and again and again and again. Also, we've got Haunted Cloaking, another one that gives a trifecta of keywords: Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. Again, great ones to have. Keep your commander back for blocking as well. And then Strider Harness. Cost 3, cost 1 to equip, creature ++1, and Haste. Again, Haste being an incredibly important thing, and that equip cost being low can be absolutely fantastic because, again, getting those mana dorks out there, getting them activated really quick can give us mana back in absolutely no time. But first up, let's talk about some Untapped Dorks and tactic number 5. Yeah, these dorks technically are mana dorks, but also like are untapping of other things too, potentially. Clever Conjurer, a 2/3 gnome wizard. Tap to untap an untarget permanent not named Clever Conjurer. Active on the sorcery, so you can't just keep untapping this, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. Being able to use this to untap something else, again, is a trigger. It is gonna target that, so our commander says, oh, okay, cool. Hey, here's your free thing. It also can kind of just keep going back and forth with another creature, so we'll keep that in mind for every single turn to get all those triggers, which is absolutely lovely. So as long as you have another creature that can untap this one, and this one can untap that one, you keep going again and again and again and again. Again, 2 triggers per creature each time each turn, so that's 4 triggers in total if you've got 2 creatures that can do that each turn, which is 16 times around the table. Yeah, you can see why things can get absolutely out of control in absolutely no time with a commander like this and with a deck like this. And of course, again, like I said, this is kind of a mana dork too. It can untap our lands, so do keep that in mind, especially when it comes to lands that are like bounce lands that can tap for 2. Could be quite nice. Forensic Researcher, again, tap, untap another target permanent you control. So if we have 2 of these in play, again, this plus the Gnome Wizard, yeah, just untap each other. Do that every single time. Absolutely fantastic, on top of untapping other ones too if you really want to. Also, you can tap down creatures you don't control if you really want to do that. Sure, collect evidence 3. Yeah, that can come in handy if your opponent's like, I've got this massive creature coming to take you out. And you're like, oh no, a giant Eldrazi. Tap it down. Okay. Next up, Lord of Healing House, a 1/4 human cleric for 3 mana in blue. Tap to untap another target permanent, or tap to untap 2 of the target legendary creatures. Again, most of the time we're just going to be untapping another permanent, so we can get into that little loop for us. Kelpie Guide, again, untap another permanent you control, or tap to tap target permanent only if you got 8 or more lands. What a joke. 8 or more lands, as if that's a challenge at all. They commander like this. We'll be there in absolutely no time. Then we've got Vizier Tumbling Sands, again, untap another target permanent, or you can cycle it away to untap 1 thing and draw a card, which is quite nice. Nimbleclaw Adept, we can tap to untap 2 other target permanents, only a sorcery only once each turn, so this one is more limited. That being said, still a great way to ramp us, a great way to get that trigger as well. And then Tidewater Minion, this one actually is self-sufficient. This one can tap to untap target permanent, which of course includes itself. So the fact that it's a 4/4 defender, we don't care. All we care about is, okay, it's my turn. Okay, tap, untap this, tap, untap this. Cool. All right, next turn. Tap, untap this, tap, untap this. Same thing every single turn. This is 2 free triggers each time on every single player's turn. With each trip around the table, that is 8 triggers from our commander, which again is 8 either card advantage, card draw basically, or lands into play, or a combination of both. Absolutely absurd. But now, so we want to do tactic number 6, Super Dork, and we've got definitely some super dorks, but some amazing dorks. Elysian Carotid, a 1/1 plant that can tap for 1 mana of any color, but also if we control a creature power 4 or greater, add 2 mana of any 1 color instead. Again, our commander does have 3 power. We do have other creatures in the deck that do have more than that. That being said, we've got a lot of equipment that can give at least 1 power. So yeah, we're going to get there. And this essentially pays for itself then. And keep in mind, again, with those hasty equipment, they cost 1 to equip, and we can tap this for more than that. So again, being able to tap for multiple mana can be great so that we can activate that equipment more and more and more, pass it around to all the creatures. Absolutely fantastic. Next up, Leafkin Druid, again, can tap for a single mana, or if you control 4 more creatures, add green instead. 4 creatures is nothing for this deck. Orochi Merge Keeper, a 1/1 that as long as it's modified, we can tap it for green. Here's the thing again, modified does include equipment, so yeah, we've got that checked, absolutely. Priest Titania, an elf druid that can tap for each elf on the battlefield a green mana. That's going to be a ton. Keep in mind that does include your opponents as well. Yeah, this can tap for a lot of mana. Next up, Whisper of the Wilds. Hi, Wilds, how you doing? Whispering. There you go. Tap for a green or Ferocious. Tap for green. Green if control a creature power 4 or greater. Finehorn Elder at 3 mana always is going to tap for green. Green. So is Green Weaver Druid as well. Gyre Engineer is going to tap for green and a blue at 3 mana. Crow's Restorer can tap to untap 1 land, which again can actually generate 2 mana if we've got like say a bounce land to untap. But also, hey, if you got Threshold, which we can pretty easily get there pretty quickly with a deck like this, untap 3 target lands. Absolutely fantastic. Llanowar Tribe, speaking of 3 for 3, 3 mana, taps for 3 mana. Sage of the Maze, a new great card, tap for 2 mana in a combination of colors. Also, don't worry about the gates thing, but again, being able to tap for any combination of colors can be absolutely fantastic. Viridian Joiner, my goodness, could be a powerhouse in this deck. You can tap for an amount of green to our mana pool equal to its power. So at first it's just 1, but again, we've got equipment. We've got ways to pump this. We've got ways to make this tap for an absurd amount of mana in a turn. And also keep in mind, we've got ways to untap it as well. So yeah, you can have some like 40 plus mana turns if you really want to with something crazy like this. Same thing with Cradle Clear Cutter. You can either cast it for 6 or for 3. It's going to be a 1/3 if cast for 3 or a 3/6 you cast for 6. Can tap based on its power. Elvish Aberration can either force cycle it away early or again, tap for 3 if you need to later. Next up, an incredible card in this deck starts us off with Retreat to Kazandu in tactic number 7, Landfall Fun, and fun it is. Enchant for just 3 mana, whenever a land enters battlefield under your control, choose 1, get a counter on target creature. Again, there's a target right there. You gain 2 life. So, yeah, being able to target our things can be quite good with that. And of course, again, making our commander quite powerful with this can be quite nice. Spore Mound, whenever a land enters battlefield under your control, you get a Saproling. We can go so wide, so quickly with this. Again, keep in mind, every single creature that we have in play, again, is essentially just another, potential 2 extra triggers on a turn. So, yes, going wide can be incredibly effective, not just for having an army that you can attack your opponents with, but also to say, oh, I got more targets for my triggers. Great. Next up, Primeval Bounty. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. So, again, go wide. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, get 3 counters on target creature control. Quite nice. Whenever a land is battlefield under control, which is going to happen quite often, gain 3 life. Yeah, pad your life total to oblivion. And then there's Rampaging Balos, of course, an incredible one as well. A 6/6 Trampler for 6, but also, yeah, if a land comes into play, you also get a 4/4 every single time. Yeah, this army can be absolutely deadly. Next up, though, other fun times in tactic number 8, starting off with Unctus Grand Meditect, a 2/4 for Rexian Vidalcan for 3 mana in blue. Other blue creatures you have, when this creature comes tapped, draw a card, then discard a card. Keep in mind, with this, we can dig through our entire library, essentially, with this, and any combination of either Tidewater Minion, which can, of course, untap itself repeatedly, or any of those other, like, untappers that can untap another thing. We have 2 of those in play. So, yeah, keep that in mind. On top of that, though, other artifact creature control +1, that's nice, I guess, but the important thing here is a single blue Phyrexian mana, untap, until end of turn, target creature control becomes a blue artifact in addition to the colors and types, activate as a sorcery. So yeah, this is either a blue mana or 2 life. So again, it is repeatable as long as we've got life to do so or the mana to do so. We're going to repeat this a ton to target a lot of things that is going to target, meaning that, hey, yeah, 2 life, look at the top card of the library, put it to play if it's a land, or get in your hand. Absolutely incredible. Seraph Viper's Fang, an amazing card as well. 3/4 Human Warlock for 4 in green. Other tapped creature control of Death Touch, which is quite nice in combat, of course. Other untapped creature control of Hexproof. Nice protection for our creatures as well, keeping them safe. And also pay 1, tapped on tap to target creature or land you control. Great Oak Guardian, an amazing card in this deck as well. ETBs, creatures target player controls get +2/+2 until on turn. Untap them, you can flash it in. Can be a great combat trick if you really need to. So yeah, cool. Surprise an opponent, take them out as well in combat. That being said, yeah, we've got a lot of things that tap, like our Mana Dorks, our untappers as well. Utilize this in a big play to have just a massive turn to go. Next up, though, on top of our commander helping us dig through our deck in absolutely no time, we've got some other cards that can help us too, like an equipment like Dream Thief's Bandana. Equip 1 equipment for 2. Whenever equipped creature deals combination to a player, look at the top card of your library, then exile it face down. For as long as it remains exiled, you may play it, and the mana of any type can be set to cast it. Yeah, our commander, again, can get through quite easily on opponents with that flying. Mask of Memory can help us out as well, then. When it deals combination to a player, you may draw 2 cards if you discard a card. Keep in mind, again, the equip cost in these incredibly low. Just add 1. Having those options is so nice to be able to just pay 1 mana to get those triggers. Next up, Paleontologist Pickaxe. An equipment for 2. Equip 1 though. Craft with 2 more creatures. 1 or more creatures, I should say, for 5. But that being said, we might just keep it on the front side for the most part. Whenever a creature attacks, draw a card, discard a card, a great looting effect for us as well. The backside, though, a headdress, equip 2, enters the battlefield attached to a creature control, comes attached to a creature, choose an exile creature card, use to craft it, is a copy of the last chosen card, so you can utilize that in a good way. Heirloom Blade, though, can be great for us too, +3/+1, so it's a nice pump effect there. Just equip 1 for this one. When a creature dies, you may reveal cards top your library to a creature card that shares a creature type with it. We do have creature types that do match with our creatures, essentially, and essentially you get that in your hand. The rest of my library in random order. Trinket Mage, yes please. Enters the battlefield, search your library for an artifact card, convert it, cost 1 or less, reveal, open your hand, then shuffle, tutor out 1 of your amazing equipment, essentially. Get that in your hand and utilize it. Trophy Mage in a similar way. Same thing, but for mana cost 3. Again, got some amazing equipment that we can utilize at 3 that have some amazing abilities, and also mostly equip 1 so we can have those great things to use for targets. Tatiel Benthic Druid, absurd amounts of advantage. 3/3 Merfolk Druid for 5 mana in Simic Landfall. Whenever land enters battlefield under your control, you gain life and draw a card. Yes. Again, our commander's now ability is like, hey, you targeted something? Great. All right, look at the top card of your library. Either basically draw it by putting it in your hand, or put it into play because it's a land, and then you draw a card too. So yeah, the amount of card advantage would be absolutely absurd. Territory Color as well can help us with that too. A 7/5 with reach for 5 mana. Landfall. Landers battlefield controlling the top card of your library. If it's a creature, you may reveal it, put in your hand. If you don't put in your hand, you may put in your graveyard. So again, either a card advantage or card selection depending on what we need. But now let's move on to our last tactic, Breakable. And we're going to be breaking a lot of things, including the game at a certain point, you know, obviously. But we can also utilize our creatures to help break things too, like Caustic Caterpillar, a simple 1/1 insect for 1 mana. So again, getting an extra body into play is absurdly valuable for this commander. And also, if you need to, hey, pay 1 and a green, sacrifice to a target artifact or enchantment. In a similar way, there's Cankerbloom, a little bit bigger, 3/2 for 2 mana. Pay 1, sacrifice to a target artifact or a target enchantment, or Proliferate, which can be useful. Reclamation Sage, ETB, destroy a target artifact or enchantment. Trigon Predator, a repeatable way to wipe out things. Deals combination to a player, you may destroy a target artifact or enchantment the player controls, and it's got flying, so keep that in mind. Foundation Breaker, we can either evoke it out if we just need to destroy something, or pay 4 mana to keep it in play, essentially. ETB, destroy a target artifact or enchantment. Nev's Disc, yeah, a great way to have like a panic button, be like, yeah, I don't like what's going on here. Boop, everything's gone. Enters battlefield, tap, pay 1, tap, draw artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Acidic Slime, again, another great ETB. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. Also a 2/2 with Death Touch, so a great blocker and attacker. Aether Gale, 5 mana, bounce 6 things. Very effective, very efficient. Terastodon, a giant 9/9 elephant that says, let's make more elephants. Enters the battlefield, destroy up to 3 target non-creature permanents. For each permanent destroy this way, its controller gets a 3/3 elephant. Then there's Tidespout Tyrant. I love this card. So effective, so efficient. 5/5 for flyer for 8 mana. Whenever you cast a spell, bounce target permanent back to its owner's hand. You can do some disgusting things with this one. Definitely an amazing card. Technically, probably some combos with this deck as well if you have enough elves in play with Priest of Titania for enough mana, so have fun with that. That being said, yeah, you're mostly just going to utilize this to bounce opponents' things and be really annoying because, yeah, you've got a lot of mana, you've got a lot of loaded ground creatures you can play, and just, yeah, no, okay, those things are gone, those things are gone, those things are, oh, your board's gone? Oh, no, the game's over, I win. But now this episode is coming to a close. I'd love to hear from you, so in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts are on my Nadu build. Yeah, again, even on a budget, even without those incredibly expensive cards, the cards that just skyrocketed in price like Shuko, which is now like $35 or so, or whatever it is right now, that card costs more than this entire deck. Again, according to Moxfield, $28.44. Make sure you check out that deck list link in the description below. Consider picking it up. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.